Hello there. What's going on, everyone? Today we're going to look at some cool new leaks for the A-A5 speeder tank for Star Wars Legion. These actually came out of the German Asmodee site, so big thanks to everybody that's been tagging me and mentioning me in a lot of these images in this PDF that was posted. We'll put a link to it in the video description below. Also, if you're new here, don't forget to enter to win that $25 Amazon gift card. There's still a few days left to enter. You just have to be a subscriber and leave a comment on this or one of my videos. All right, so yeah, so basically we got an image here of the fully painted mock-up version. Looks really cool. Honestly, like, I was not a huge fan of this when it first got announced, but the more I see of it, I really like the sculpt. I like what they've done with it. I think it's going to look really good painted up, but I think you're going to have to, like, this is going to be the first model I probably paint before putting it together. Because you've got so many different pieces, like the whole bottom piece and like this grating on the front, and the inside and the outside. Like, you're going to be able to see the inside. I think you're going to have to magnetize the top a little bit. And, if you want those doors to move, I think the doors are going to probably move freely. But this one's going to be tricky to put together and to put together correctly. So it's going to be really interesting. We learned a little bit from the live stream yesterday that these are going to be closed transports. You're going to be able to take one unit in this one. This is finally a chance for the Rebels to be able to take a full Wookiee unit or any kind of full slower unit. Which is pretty cool. Now, here's kind of what we're getting in the A-A5 speeder tank. Basically, the PDF. This is a good thing, right? So first thing is we get much better instructions. Much better instructions, right? You've got these different sections. They're color-coded. They're basically having you going to build, like, the skeleton first. Then you're going to be building the sides. Then you're going to build in the green over there. You're going to build the rear. Then, you're going to build the bottom. And then you're going to build the top. So you're going to build all of these pieces separately. That might be a good point to start doing your airbrushing or your painting or your priming and all of that stuff. Because this is probably a good time to paint the interior. That first section, because once you start putting everything on, you're going to have a harder time getting into the interior and getting all of those weapon racks and all those computer panels and all of that stuff done. So that much is pretty cool. Don't worry, we have a little bit more meat and potatoes towards the end of the video because the final page does give us a components list. So we're going to talk about that. So here on the next page, basically they're showing us kind of like with the assembly. You put that bottom piece, once that's all assembled, you put that back piece, once that's all assembled, then you put the sides and then the top. Now, I don't think you're going to want to glue the top on, because if you want to actually put your Wookiees in there, you're not going to be able to do that once the top is on. Unless maybe you've already painted it by this point, then that's fine. Again, we're going to see, because when I do an unboxing of this, once it finally comes out, I will do a build. I'm not sure if I will totally, glue everything together in the build, or if I'll just kind of take it about as far as you see here. And also, you've got a Celestian driver, which is pretty cool. I think this is our first Celestian, like, in the game, at least. I'm not sure now. I got to think back to all the different alien heads that we've got versus all the ones that have been custom ordered and everything. But yeah, so we got a Celestian driver. We got an empty seat next to him, but you've also got this acrylic, piece that's going to go in the cockpit as the windshield. Which I like the acrylic windshield piece. They show you putting that one on last. Obviously, you're going to want to paint it before you put the acrylic on there, because otherwise your paint's going to go all over the clear acrylic. That seems like a no-brainer, but just a good reminder: don't glue the acrylic in before you've painted. And of course, don't forget to paint your driver before putting him in, because that's going to be a lot easier to do that on the outside. You have two gun options too. Now, the first one, I'm going to go from left to right. It does appear, with the quad kind of laser cannons. That one looks like it's going to be more all-purpose, probably anti-infantry. And then your second one with the single barrel, it's that thicker barrel. That one looks to be a little bit more like you probably have an impact version, and that's my guess. I don't expect either of these weapons to be particularly good. I also don't expect this vehicle to have arsenal. I don't expect it to have any ability to fire more than one time. I think these weapons are going to be hard points. I think you may even potentially run this particular transport with no weapons whatsoever. I believe that will be a possibility, because Luke Eddy did mention that these will be fairly inexpensive as far as army point cost, because they're, for the most part, just pure transports. which is a little bit disappointing to me, but there may be, I mean, there may be something a little bit more to it. And then we get to this last page here, which has a whole bunch of good stuff. That in Halt up there on the top left, we did some translation on that, so we're going to look at that. And of course, we've got our keywords over here. For the most part, these are pretty standard keywords. We do have shield tokens, which are interesting, and also the ability to heal. So I'm thinking there's going to be some kind of maybe medic on board. Maybe you can potentially, if somebody gets wounded, they can get onto the transport to heal. That may be like a keyword that the unit has, or maybe one of the upgrades that it comes with. Although if it's going to be a pure transport and not do much else, it'd be kind of nice if it was an ambulance. I kind of like that ability. Like maybe it's just got, maybe it doesn't have heal just one. Maybe it can heal once every turn, but it can only heal to units that are on it, right? Like, wouldn't that be kind of cool? Like, you have to put a unit on there. You have to, like, take a unit out of the game for a turn just to heal 1 point. Or maybe it heals more than one. I don't know. But that would be kind of a cool way to do things. I kind of like the idea of doing something like that. But we'll have to see. But here's what the translation, here's what we have so far. For those of you who noticed, and this is a little bit of a segue. For those of you who noticed, who looked like Shriv hiding under Lando's cape, considering this is part of the same wave, sure enough, we're getting Shriv in here, and he was, you could see his name, and it doesn't require translation. So the first section is the basic components. We're going to get the A-A5 miniature. We're going to get the base. Now, this isn't a perfect translation, right? Evasion marker. Well, that's a dodge token, right? So you're going to get your tokens, dodge, standby, your commander, a commander token, because presumably there will be a field commander in here. Field commander is one of the highlighted keywords. And Shriv is the only named character from what I can gather. So Shriv will probably be a field commander, which is really cool. I'm liking the fact that we get field commander. Now it says 3 damage tokens for vehicles. That's going to be those specific damage tokens if you get the engine damaged or you lose a weapon or something like that. You're going to have 4 shield tokens, which means this will probably be a shielded vehicle, and 3 wound markers. Now, the 3 wound markers are interesting to me because that tells me that this either has 3 hull, or maybe it's a 3, 4, 5. Maybe it's got 5 hull, right? Because maybe the one of those wound markers is a 3, or something like that. I guess we'll have to see. It stands to reason if it's going to be cheap, it could potentially have only 3 hull. I mean, if it's going to have 4 shields and only 3 hull, then I mean maybe that's something that it's going to do. Especially if it's got armor also and shield tokens and armor, that would be really interesting. That could be an interesting combination. I guess we'll have to wait and see how that all works out. But that would be a really interesting. It's a really cool design space for a heavy vehicle with only 3 hull, if that's the case. And that would add something new to it because it's relying on its armor and its shield tokens to kind of deal with those crits as they come in, assuming it has armor. And that's assuming it just has flat armor. It might be like armor X or something like that as well. And then it says destination marker. I'm not sure exactly what that is. I don't think that that's an exact translation. That probably translates into something that I'm just overlooking right now. But I'm curious what that is. Maybe that's a new mechanic. Maybe kind of like how Secret Mission. Maybe you want to go to a certain place to drop off. Maybe that's part of the disadvantage. Maybe in order to deploy it, it has to be moving towards its destination. Maybe it can't just go anywhere. Maybe you have to broadcast where you plan to go. That'll be interesting. The other side is the side that's a little bit more interesting here for our upgrade cards. The AG2G quad laser, that's going to be that one gun with the 4 barrels, hence quad laser. 2 gonk droids, which is an interesting one. It says prepared gonk droid. I think that's probably a slight translation, slightly mistranslated, but we're going to get two gonk droid cards. This much is interesting to me because I'm like, okay, well, gonk droids in X-Wing can work to recover shields. Makes sense if we've got 4 shield tokens that the gonk droid might recover shields here. But there's 2 of them, and so that's kind of the fact that we've got 2, and we have 2 of quite a few different types of cards. We have 2 pilot cards, 2 R5 astromechs, 2 glider pilots from the Outer Rim, which is speeder pilots, Outer Rim speeder pilot, probably. So we're getting multiples of of other things, which I think is great. The idea that this has probably got some upgrades that are going to be useful for like something like a snow speeder or a land speeder or something like that. Very cool. I like it. It's a good idea. But if a Gonk droid can recover shields, what's the point of it being of you having two here? Because none of the other rebel vehicles have shield, unless the Gonk droid adds a shield. Like maybe this vehicle only has 3 shields, and if you want to put a Gonk droid on there, that'll bump it up to 4 at a premium for cost. That's my guess, is that it maybe gives you an extra shield and then the recharge ability or something like that. Some type of paired aiming device. So that'll be some kind of maybe like a targeting computer or something like that. There we go. Again, glider pilots. Glider kind of looks like it's probably syncs up to speeder because that is in the name. So I'm guessing the 2 pilot cars we're getting, the first 2 are the Outer Rim speeder pilots. Unstable R5 astromech droids. Maybe they're going to do some kind of repairing or healing. I'm not sure. Integrated comm channel. No idea what that one is going to do. The retrofitted heavy laser is going to be that big barrel gun that we saw up top. Provincial Doctor. I like this one a lot. I think it might even be a unique in that it's going to be probably the one thing that's doing healing, since we do see healing as a keyword on the sheet. An inconsiderate driver. I don't think inconsiderate is going to be the exact English translation. Probably gruff or something, some maybe rude driver or crass, or scoundrel or something like that. Which sounds really cool. And then, of course, Shriv Surgav from Battlefront 2. You may recognize him. He was a really funny dude. So Shriv is definitely a fan favorite for people who played through Battlefront 2, this campaign. And then 2 top pilots, and then an unconventional tactician. So I feel like one of the things that might be new here is, it might be new or it might be kind of the same as the land speeder, is crew, right? Like, because the land speeder had those armed crew like weapons that you could use, and this might give you crew options, that aren't weapons. And so it'll be interesting if they use the exact same upgrade or if they give it a new, like maybe they give it a manned crew that is unique to this one that you can't put on anything else. Or will they give you crew that maybe also add some value to the land speeder? Because I really don't ever use the land speeder. I don't know if I have ever used the land speeder. I use the snow speeder an awful lot, but the land speeder, I just don't like it. I just don't. I might have used it once, or at least I know I've put it in a build or two, like to try to get R2D2 across the battlefield a little easier. But it'd be nice if this did give some options to go with the land speeder. So we'll have to see what what the upgrades look like, what they're calling the upgrade slots, and if giving this thing some crew and making it sort of like a mobile hospital is a secondary function of it, I think that'll be really cool. Now that it'll obviously add some more cost onto the vehicle, but I'm excited. I can't wait to see what it looks like. It's certainly, with the color scheme that they have it painted up with, the red and white, kind of fits that it looks a little bit like an ambulance. I wonder if somebody's gonna paint Wambulance on the side. I wonder. Terrible joke, but I had to give it a shot. Let me know your thoughts for the A-A5 speeder in the comments section below. We will talk some more about this. I can't wait to get some previews. I think in March we'll get some really good looks at this, as well as the next wave of other things that are coming. There's going to be a lot more vehicles coming over the rest of this year, between this and then the LAT, and then all the droid vehicles that are going to be coming in the next wave. It's just going to be a really cool vehicle-based year for Star Wars Legion. Granted, it's still more of an infantry game, but the more vehicles we get, the more pretty our battlefields can be, and I think that counts for an awful lot. All right, guys, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think down in the comments section. Don't forget to share the video. Click the bell for all those alerts. Check also some of the links in the description below if you want to check out Patreon or my website or Discord. Hop in there and have a good time. I'd love to have you. Big thanks to my patrons. You guys are absolutely amazing and help make this all possible, so thank you for your continued support. I will talk to you guys soon. Thank you so much. And as always, have a great day.